You know, it's weird. This lens here gives me mixed feelings. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't really like it. Sometimes I would love to hate it, but I still end up using it a lot. I shoot business events, military exercises, conferences, and occasionally wedding ceremonies. I do own the 16-55 f2.8, which is a very good lens, but I feel like it is too heavy and not the very best in low light. I mean, duh, it's a zoom lens. I mean, it's basically made to be versatile, but not the best at really anything. It's like a jack of all trades. So it comes with its flaws. Whenever I shoot with the 16-55, I often find myself shooting at around 23, 24, 25 millimeters focal length. This annoys me sometimes because I think, why the hell am I not using the 23 millimeters? Other times I'm like, I knew it, this is 23 millimeters. And then I ask myself, why the hell can't I go just wider? But at the same time, I'm happy because I realize that I made a good choice when I invested in this lens for my business, Peso Productions, which you should follow on Instagram and YouTube, by the way. And it means that I am naturally inclined to shoot at 23 millimeters rather than a wider focal length. Although my compositions aren't always the best at 23 millimeters. It is really hard to get a good composition at 23 millimeters. It's harsh. The 23 millimeters focal length is brutal with you. It will show every single mistake that you make, and you will see it and people will see it. So you have to be good at it. You have to train yourself a lot. I think that is why I love better the 33 millimeters or the 50 millimeters focal length classical. Everything looks just better with it, you know? And probably the two in combo, 23 and 33 on Fujifilm, I think they work really good together. The 23mm f1.4 is technically almost perfect, and I've never found myself saying something like the image quality is not good enough, or it's not sharp enough, or there's purple fringing, or anything like that really. Although I really love the 33mm generally, I'm more pleased with the images that come out of it. I have to say that the 23mm is more functional and generally it's more useful in a wider array of situations. For example, tiny places or crowded places where you don't have space to move around too much. In that case, I feel like the 23 makes much more sense, you know? Or in certain situations where you have to give more context. That is why I think it works perfectly with the 33, you know? You have a 33 more for portraits, more for close-ups, and then you have a 23 to set up the context, to set up the scene. Here are a few things that make me love this lens. Number one, image quality. This is one of the best lenses I've tried from Fujifilm. Everything looks pleasing to the eye, and combined with the right Fujifilm simulation, it is just eye-cotton candy. Candy cotton? I still have to test it with the new sensors on the newest Fujifilm cameras, the 40 megapixels with the X-T5 and the X-H2, but I am very pleased with the quality that I get from my X-T4. Trend nowadays goes like this. A lot of people are moving into film and they don't really want the best photo, the perfect photo, the sharpest photo, but personally what I prefer is to have a perfect looking photo, sharp, crisp, everything that I can then transform it in editing. I can add grain, I can reduce the clarity, I can make it soft, I can make it look whatever I want. But I'd rather have it sharp and then unsharp it rather than the other way around. Number 3, aperture. Until I first tried the 1.4, in my head somehow it was like, why does it even matter that much? The f2 and the f1.4 is not that big of a difference, it's just 2 stops of light. But let me tell you this, it actually makes a big fucking huge difference because 2 stops of light are a lot. Especially when you shoot events in situations where it's dark, and those 2 stops make the actual difference between, you know, getting a blurry image or a grainy image and, you know, getting a good quality looking image. And I cannot tell you how many times this saved my ass during shoots. And this is mostly for professional work related situations and not that much on my personal projects, although it also helped me there. So there's also this thing that you need to, you know, balance a little bit. Are you shooting more professional? Are you shooting more personal work? Do you have more time to, work with the image, work the scene, or you need the best of the best and the perfect thing and you need it in that moment? Number 4, portability, aka weight and size. If you look at it, it's not very big and it only weighs 375 grams. You can easily put that in a bag and forget that you have it, really. You don't even feel it. And I have a couple of bonus features that this lens has. The focus and distance, which is 19 centimeters, which is a lot more than other lenses out there. And it's not a macro lens, but you can get close enough to subjects or to objects that you might be shooting, especially if you're shooting like a wedding or something like that, and you need to get like the very close to details of, I don't know, flowers, glasses, stuff like that, the shoes of the bride, I don't know. Weather resistance, which nowadays has become like almost a must for me whenever I go shoot, because I don't really want to worry about rain, dust, snow, whatever. I just want to be ready to shoot, be ready to get into the action and not think about, oh my god, it's raining or there's a few drops or something like that. Of course, I'm not going to shoot like in a tornado, but still. There was a time when I was thinking about selling this lens, but with time, I don't know, something happened. I started using it more and more, and I found out that it's very useful and sometimes it's even necessary. And even though the 16 to 55 covers the 23 millimeters focal length, I feel like having this, it's not an extra. How can I say? It's complementary, it complements my whole kit. And I've come to realize that it's a very, very important piece of equipment in my arsenal. And if you are thinking about buying this lens, I would say go ahead and buy it. Honestly, I don't have any remorse in buying this lens. But if you are not shooting like not even an event a year or 2 events a year or something professionally every now and again that somebody pays you to shoot, then I would say probably you're better off with the F2 version of this lens. It's cheaper, it's still weather resistant, it's still pretty good quality, and well, it doesn't break the bank.